Hey friends, it's Robin. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about March releases. So I have quite a few books to talk about this month. I feel like March is historically a pretty big release month. I only have one day that is like a huge release day. This does seem to be smaller than previous Marches. I don't know if that's just my perception or my reading tastes are changing or what it is, but we're gonna go through this like always by release date. I'm gonna start off with the one date I don't know. That is Hostile Takeover by Christina C. Jones. I learned from Heather from Hia Booktubes that this is coming sometime in early March. I don't know the day, but I'm very excited about it. I read my first Christina C. Jones book and now I'm kind of obsessed. So I really want to read this one. Do I know what the synopsis for this is? No, I do not, but it is coming in early March. On March 3rd, we have Vicious Devotion by Aveda Weiss, which is book one after Bound. So this is a captor-captive romance. Essentially, the Harpies lost a war and our heroine has been captured by these two wares and is being taken to their pack. Have loved everything in this like world. This has a, like an overarching world. I think it's the Fangs with Benefits series. So this is book one in its own series, but it's like the third series in the overarching series. I really liked everything I've read by Aveda Weiss, so I'm going to read this. On March 7th, this is the really big like release date for trade published books. First up is Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. This is the follow-up to Love and Other Disasters. This is following our hero who decides to like go hike the Pacific Crest Trail, and he keeps running into this other guy over and over again, and the two of them end up striking a romance. It sounds really cute. I loved Anita Kelly's writing so much, and I loved the way that they like crafted a romance. Their books feel very soft to me and just very emotional and wonderful, and I'm excited to give this one a read. So that is on March 7th. And we have The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner, and this is the follow-up to The Lost Apothecary. So it seems like this one is going to be a historical mystery. I don't know if all of it is going to be set in the past. In The Lost Apothecary, it kind of like jumped back and forth, so I don't know if that's going to be the case in this, but it sounds like in 1873 there was some sort of spiritualist who was like known for their dark seances and their ability to conjure the spirits of murder victims. And it says our other heroine wants to find the answers about her sister's death, and so she ends up going to the spiritualist and getting wrapped up in a murder investigation. It sounds really interesting. I love me a good mystery, especially with like slightly paranormal elements. I'm curious to know whether or not this is actually paranormal or just like realistic and one of our characters is playing at paranormal. I don't know, but I'm excited for it. I really liked The Lost Apothecary, even though it's super different than what I normally read. So I'm excited to give this one a try. Then we have The Foxglove King by Hannah Whiten. I am still excited about this book, but if you watched my Reader's Guide to Fantasy Romance series, you know that I read the first book or the first chapter of this book and I did not understand at all. So this one says that it is a lush, romantic, epic fantasy about a young woman's secret power to raise the dead, which plunges her into the dangerous and glamorous world of the Sainted King's royal court. Then I have The Sinister Revenge by Deanna Raybourn, which is book, oh my god, I keep forgetting, 8 in the Veronica Speedwell series. And this is a historical mystery with a slow burn romance. Every book has its own contained mystery. I don't know what the mystery element is in this one, but we are following Veronica and Stoker, who are two scientists that work together to solve mysteries semi-reluctantly. I really like this series. Like I said, it has a very slow burn romance in it. Now that the main characters are together, we're getting little romance elements. I just really like this writing. The mystery elements are quirky and fun and lighthearted, and I just have a really, really good time with this series. Then we have A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon by Sarah Hawley, which is another book that I read for that video series. In this one, we're following our heroine, who is this like infamous witch. She was prophesized to be super powerful, except that she has absolutely no ability to control her powers. And the only thing that she seems to have an affinity for is nature magic, which isn't like super showy and flashy. And so her family doesn't like that. And she is practicing her summoning, and she accidentally summons a soul bargaining demon, and the two of them fake date because he is trying to get her to complete the bargain and she doesn't want to. So the two of them live together and have a fake romance, and it was really funny from what I read, and I'm excited to keep on with that. On to March 14th, we have Feed Them Silence by Lee Mandello, which is a horror novella that is the follow-up to Summer Sons, which was one of my favorite horrors the year that I read it, 2020, 2021, I don't remember. This is a pretty short horror novel by this author, and this is following our heroine, who is a scientist, and she is obsessed with the idea of getting into the mind of a wolf, and she finds a way to do that. And it might be at the detriment of her as well as the wolves. That's all I know about it. It sounds super wild and out there and so different than what I normally read, but Summer Sons was so fantastic that I think I trust this author with anything. So I'm willing to give this a shot, especially since it's super short. On March 22nd, we have The Fae Princes by Nikki St. Crow, which is book 4 in the Never King series, and this is the 4th and final book. This is a dark Peter Pan Why Choose romance, and we are following Peter Pan, who abducts our heroine in book 1, and our heroine might be able to help Pan and the Lost Boys. The series is so ridiculous. I have such a hard time summarizing the series because I don't really know who the bad guy is in this series. Might be Hook, might be the Fae Queen. I don't know. But I'm excited to get this final book. The series is so addictive and ridiculous and out there. And if you haven't read them, all of these are really short and you cannot stop reading them. So, book 4, final book, come super soon. I'm excited to get more from Nikki St. Crow after this too. I want to know what she does next. And then the next day, March 23rd, we have Kingdom of Venom and Vows by Holly Renee, which is book 3 in the Stars and Shadows series. Is that what it's called? This is another just like super fun fantasy romance. Apparently this is the month of fantasy romance. This is very similar in the same vein as all of our other fantasy romances that we're seeing right now. We have a heroine who has no agency. She is being sent off to this fantasy realm to get married off, and she is supposed to be married to this Fae prince who is going to help protect the kingdom. She's the prophesized one, and it turns out that the Fae aren't actually that nice, and the evil vampires are actually not that evil, and she has a romance with the bodyguard. All very familiar stuff, but it's so much fun and so addicting and so readable and bingeable that it can't stop, and I'm excited to read this book. I don't know how many books are in the series. I don't know if this is the final one. I don't know if this is a trilogy or what, but I will read it as long as Holly Renee writes it. And then on the 24th, the day after that, we have Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate, which is a continuation of her Salacious Players Club, and I'm so excited we're getting more books in the series because I love the series. I was so sad when it ended, and we are getting another book. This is another age gap romance, which I do love, and we are following one of the patrons of the club, and he is kind of like someone that you saw throughout the whole series. He's like one of their biggest patrons, and it is a massive age gap. I believe he's also a sugar daddy. Don't hold me to that. I don't quite remember. It doesn't really matter what it's about, in all honesty. Sarah Kate has been already teasing little like blurbs. I'm excited. It's going to be fantastic. Hopefully I buy into this age gap. It is a very large age gap. I think it's like 20 years or something, so hopefully I can get on board with it. I trust Sarah Kate to at least rope me in for the book, whether or not I believe in their HEA. TBD. And then lastly, on March 28th, we have A Spinster's Guide to Danger and Dukes by Amanda Collins. I talked about this in my March TBR, but I read the first 2 books in the series. I have no memory of them, like none at all. I don't know why I have blocked this out of my head, but I have no memory of this. It sounds like our heroine is trying to escape a betrothal. She fled to London, where she's been hiding as a secretary. And it sounds like our hero and her run into each other, and he's not above asking for a favor. A fake betrothal will give him and her sister the power of a dukedom in order to protect them. The longer that the ruse goes on, the more that they realize that they have feelings. So marriage of convenience, fake engagement, things like that. I'm interested in giving a shot. Like I said, I've read the first 2 books. This is what they look like. I don't remember much about them. I don't know if it's just because I read so many books now that I don't remember, but I'm gonna read it. So that is all I currently have for my March releases. Let me know what books are coming out this month that you are super excited for. Let me know if I've missed any. Let me know if you are excited for any of these, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.